great to have a chance to meet you. Right off the top, I got to ask you two questions. One, where are you as we speak? And two, how's the summer been? Because from what I've been reading, you've been traveling everywhere.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk today. I've heard the best things about you, so this is so exciting. I'm in my hotel in Toronto right now.
Ah,
To answer your first question, and as far as the second question, this has been a really busy, fun summer. I've been all over the
well,
place.
before we go into that, I got to ask you: is this the first time you've been in Toronto? And if so, what do you think so far?
It is. It's my first time in Canada, actually, too.
Oh,
It's
wow.
awesome. I love it. It's sort of like it feels like kind of like New York City or something. Is that bad to say?
No, people do say. Well, you got to
And
remember.
I
No,
also
go
haven't
ahead. Sorry.
been there a lot. Sorry, I haven't been in New York City a lot either. So like this is all really new for me. So I love it.
Well, here's the thing: Toronto is the biggest multicultural city in the world.
Oh wow.
New York, when I say biggest, not I mean like size, but I mean the most multicultural types of people in a
Right.
city.
Totally.
Toronto's the biggest. Second is New York. So it's
Okay.
easy enough to compare the two, but I have to apologize about something. Our traffic is horrendous because of the construction. So let
Okay.
me apologize about that right off the top.
I forgive you. The good thing is I don't have a car here, so we've been walking everywhere.
Yeah, but you've been traveling everywhere. Can you talk about some of the
Yeah.
shows that you've been doing for CMA Fest? I mean, like a ton of things you've been doing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We have been playing like so many awesome festivals this summer. Which like this is my language. Like I mean, I love going to music festivals, like country music festivals in the summertime. That's like always been my favorite thing to do. So getting to play them now is awesome, especially like you mentioned CMA Fest. Like that's my hometown. I grew up in Nashville. And so I grew up going with my family and I got to play for the first time this year, like as an artist, and that was wild. It was like the most full circle thing ever getting to do that. Um, we played Lasso the other day in Montreal. So fun, so beautiful. Um, I can't even like I have so many highlights. We played Tidal Wave in Atlantic City a couple weeks ago. Like just so many cool festivals in cities that like I would have never otherwise gotten a chance to go to. So it's been awesome.
You know, it's crazy because a lot of people I speak with, they all
Mhm.
want to go to Nashville to experience the writing and singing and the performances and just everything. And here you are, born, raised, and grew up. Is that like the advantage? Because when you listen to your music, yes, you're singing for a newer generation, but you can still see you got old soul in you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That honestly, that's the biggest compliment ever. So I appreciate that. No, I'm so grateful for growing up in Nashville. And it's funny now, like being being there as an adult, I meet so many people that aren't from there. Like the majority of people that I know and that are friends with, that I'm friends with, are not from Nashville. And it makes me realize I took it for granted for so long because they're all just so like googly eyed about it. And I'm like, oh my God, it makes me fall in love with it all over again. So that's really nice. And I don't know if I would call it an advantage. I think in some ways it probably is though, because growing up, like I was always singing, like always singing and playing music. And it just made it easy for me to have somewhere to go with it. Like there was always a bar that I could go up and bring my guitar and sing in, like I think a lot of people that don't live in Nashville, they kind of look to Nashville like, okay, I gotta get there. Like I gotta figure out how to take myself to Nashville. But for me, it was like I just have to go down the street to sing. So that was really nice. Probably a huge advantage that I took for granted growing up.
Well, also growing up too, what would you say was your favorite, fishing or turkey hunting?
Turkey hunting. You did your research.
Why turkey hunting? Just curious.
Well, I don't know. I grew up doing like a few different kinds of hunting. Like I grew up deer hunting too, and I think I love both sort of equally, but turkey hunting is my favorite. I don't know why. I just love like I love every aspect of it. My dad taught me how to do it. I love the process. I love the calling. I love the springtime. Like the woods are kind of coming alive, and I just also like I love to get out of town and I love to be out in the country and to just breathe. And so that's another huge reason why I love it. It just kind of like I get to turn my mind off and just do something else. And I love it.
How tough is that to turn your mind off? Because when you're a recording artist, when you're a singer and you have that in your blood,
Mhm.
songs are always somehow reminiscing in your head. You could look at something and suddenly your head is going, how
Yeah.
can you do that?
It is really, really hard. And like, I'll just be honest, I have not figured out how to turn my brain off, because it is like, it's when it's your passion, like it's hard to not, it's hard to ever not be doing it. And like, I've even had times where I'm like, so like, just so bogged down with like the work side of things, and like I'll want to go do something and I'm like, I'm just going to leave my phone at home, like I'm just going to leave it, I'm not going to touch it. But then I'll be like, wait, no, like what if I get a song idea, I need to have something to write it down on. So I'll just end up bringing it, because I got to have my notes app to write down song ideas. So there's no way, like there's really no way you can turn it off for me.
When it comes to songwriting, what are the stories that you like to tell through your music?
Oh my gosh, anything and everything. Like I feel like all the songwriters that I look up to the most are the ones that just write like whatever's on their mind, and especially like and just real things that they're going through. And those are the days like when I go in to write a song, I just feel the most like, I feel the most of like a release when I've written like exactly what I was feeling that day and like exactly what was going on. So just real life stories. I feel like I learned how to write when I was in college, because that was where I really started to live and like have those like heartbreaks and like friendships and that kind of stuff that like gave me honestly like real life for the first time outside of my high school bubble. So I don't know, I just like to write real life.
Then what would you say is your, because I've said this a million times, you are not a country artist until you write your first drinking song. What is your drinking song that you wrote?
Oh my gosh, I've written so many drinking songs. The funny thing is like I have a song called Shirley Temple, which obviously a Shirley Temple is a non-alcoholic drink, and that ended up being a drinking song too. So I don't know, a lot of times I don't know how to not write a drinking song, but Grain of Salt is one that I have out right now that's like a pretty fun drinking song. If you're trying
We're
to drink
gonna
a beer on a boat or tequila, listen to Grain of Salt.
we're gonna get back into a little bit of that too, but I also want to get back to, because with the songs and everything else, you got to get signed, and you recently got signed this year. Congratulations! Talk about
Thank
that,
you.
please.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's been like the craziest thing, because Big Loud and Songs and Daughters, that was my dream label and publishing. Like that was the peak for me when I like didn't know anything about music. Like that was the people that I looked up to the most. And so now like having somebody like that reach out and say like, we believe in what you're doing and we want to be a part of it is like, it's wild. But Nicole Gallion is the first person I met over there, and I had looked up to her as a songwriter for years and years. So she reached out to me when I was still in college, actually, and we got connected. When I came back to town, like back to Nashville after school, she introduced me to so many writers and set me up with all these awesome people. And long story short, signed me to a publishing deal. And then a year later, signed me to a record deal. And now here I am in Canada. What the heck?
And of course, we're introducing a new album for folks who don't know what it's called. Let's get to it. EP, I should say. What is
Yeah.
it called? And talk. I always say this: what is it called, and how does it represent you at this point in your career? If there's ever an EP that represents somebody, this is the one. What's it called?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Well, it's called Introducing Lauren Watkins. Very self-explanatory. And like the way that I got to that title for it was, I mean, I feel like, and I've actually heard somebody say this before, I can't remember who it was, but it rings so true to me. And it was that like when you're putting out your first either song or album or EP, whatever it is, like it's almost like you're writing those songs all your life. Like you are working on that project for your whole entire life leading up to that. Because it's like every experience you've had, this is the first people are ever hearing of me. Like these people have never heard my name before and they're hearing these songs. So I'm like, how can I like pull together the most like significant and relatable experiences in my life and put them in an album or an EP? And the way we did that was I just wrote my butt off for a long time, and I wrote so many songs, like I can't even count how many. And finally we narrowed it down to these, and Introducing Lauren Watkins was sort of a no-brainer, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do with this project, is just introduce myself. And with that said, I have plans for new music that I'm working on right now to put out very, very soon. And I kind of had the foresight to call it Introducing Lauren Watkins, because like this is the context that I want, and like the foundation under everything else that I put out going forward. Like I wanted that to be the base for everything. Like, this is who I am. Here's the girl, and then here are the experiences, you know?
And what single is out right now?
Well, Shirley Temple and Anybody But You have both been on the highway. Now it's Anybody But You that's on the highway. So that's right now. Very excited about that.
Excited about that for you too. What
Thank
about touring? What's going to happen? And since you visited Canada, any chance we're going to have you coming up here? There's a festival called Boots and Hearts that happens
I
that
know.
maybe
I'm
we can
dying
get you
to play
to.
that. I know. I'm dying to play that. I guess I missed the boat this year, but next year I'm hoping to get to play that one. But hopefully I get to come back here soon. I mean, I love it. Like, we've had the best time. I feel like we get a good amount of time to spend here. So I know I'm going to want to come back, but I have a lot of exciting touring plans. One is that I'm going out with Austin Snell on tour. It'll be like a bunch of, yeah, so excited. It'll be like awesome, like college towns, and kind of like, that's my scene. I love college town. And then I am doing a date with Jameson Rogers, which will be so much fun. I've been the biggest fan of his. He's another awesome songwriter too. Like, he's just so good. And then I'm opening for Morgan Wallen for a couple shows this fall. So
Wow.
yeah, so a lot of exciting things coming up.
I know we got to wrap this up, but two more very quick questions. One,
Yeah.
because of your style and voice, any chance in the future that you might record a gospel album? Because I can hear it in your voice.
Oh my gosh.
And two, any chance that you're going to be doing a holiday song? Because we are, even though it's summer, we're leading into the, Christmas season. And I'd love to hear a song coming from you for the holidays.
Oh my gosh, I love this question. I have not, a gospel album would be so cool. I'll tell you, like, I actually like, that should be a goal of mine, to at least write a gospel song and put it out. Or even like a cover, there's so many good ones that I would want to honor. And that's a good idea. I will credit you to do that.
Your voice would be perfect for that. And what about a holiday song as we're coming up to the holiday soon?
Oh my gosh, that's a good idea too. I don't know. I'll have to think about it and narrow it down, because I am like also the biggest fan of Christmas music. So I don't know how I might have to write my own, because I don't know how I could pick my favorite. I don't know. One of my favorite, like, modern. You saying you want me to write one?
Yes, I love when artists write their own, because you never know if that one is going to become the classic.
No,
and because
you're right.
we've already heard all the other ones over and over again, and everybody's re-singing them. Like these days,
Right.
Everybody's re-singing Last Christmas from Wham. And it's
You're
like,
right.
I'm tired of it now. I want a new one, and then everybody else can jump on that bandwagon.
No, you're right. And I actually, like, I'm so picky about modern Christmas music, because I love the classics, but my favorite, like, modern Christmas album is Casey Musgraves, when she put out her Christmas album like a few years ago. And she wrote, I think she had a couple originals on it, but my favorite one was Christmas Makes Me Cry.
Oh,
So good.
yeah.
So
fantastic. Good. I know we got to wrap this up. I got to say thank you so much for doing this interview with me. Congratulations with the career. I know you're going to be monster in the future, and I am going to be really paying attention, just in case there's a gospel and there's a holiday song coming out. Either way, thank you so much, and all the best in the future.
Thank you. You're so awesome. This has been so fun talking to you. Thank you.